Hello! Welcome to my messy room. My name is Liz Bills, and I am a singer-songwriter and a vocal coach from the Boston area. And I've had muscle tension dysphonia for about 7 years now. But I've gotten to a place where I've overcome muscle tension dysphonia. And what does that mean, really? For me and my journey, it means that I'm talking to you right now and my voice feels free and relaxed and bright and full. It means that most of the time I don't have to take cough drops anymore, or I don't feel burning, terrible pain. I can stay at parties and talk to my friends. I can sing full time. I can teach 30 students per week with minimal to zero pain. And I say minimal because sometimes I still struggle with anxiety and depression and intense emotions. And for me, that triggers muscle tension. So for example, like I'm talking right now, it's fine. In here, it's fine. But I have a little bit of burning here because I've been under so much pressure and stress with like all of a sudden new shows coming up for me to play. And I just have a lot of anxiety that I'm still working through. And I can just, as soon as I get stressed out, the muscles like tighten and the burning comes in like crazy. So yeah, there's that. So I'm still working through my journey, but I wanted to do this video today to talk about the steps that I've taken that have helped me to overcome muscle tension dysphonia. So even when it does kind of come in these days, I know I'm not afraid anymore, and I know how to manage it, and I'm not in a situation anymore where I have to call out of work or, you know, cancel a show, or I'm up on stage and I can't get through the set. That does not happen to me anymore because I know the beast and I know how to whoosh it now. And you will too, don't worry. So here are the steps. Again, try and be organized. Step 1, go to your ENT first and foremost. I have a lot of people emailing me asking me like what they should do, and a lot of people still haven't even gone to their ENT. Ear, nose, and throat doctor is what that means. So definitely go to your ENT doctor, get the appointment, and then definitely make sure that they scope you. So what that means is they're going to put a camera up your nose, down your throat, into your vocal folds, and they'll make you do some sounds, and then they will watch the video and they'll know, they can see, you know, what's going on in here. Don't worry, it's uncomfortable, but it's not too bad. And you can go to some ENTs where they will go through your mouth. I mean, a lot of people, you know, the gag reflex, but for me, I actually preferred it because I'm a baby and I don't want things up my nose into my brain. It doesn't go into your brain, but it's weird. But they numb it out, so it's totally fine. So that's step 1. Go to your ear, nose, and throat doctor and get the MTD diagnosis. Now, you know, a lot of us have this story where we go to the ENT and we do not get the correct diagnosis. The struggle is real. And that happened to me too. I was diagnosed first with pre-polyp, which means like I had kind of a blistering on my vocal folds, and which could have led to polyps if I didn't, you know, take precautionary measures. So I was pre-polyp, and they also kept freaking diagnosing me with acid reflux, which is bullshit. Yes, acid reflux does exist in singers, and it is a thing. So I wouldn't just like assume that it's not what you have. It could be part of it. But I did everything. I did like the wedge pillow. I like completely changed my diet. I'm sure there's other things I did. I did them. I even tried the medication, but I just didn't like the idea of being on the meds because then your body can't really work without them anymore. I even got tested, like where they put you upside down in a machine and they see if you reflux, and I did reflux, but everybody refluxes. It's like a natural thing. It's just not natural when it's too much and it's splashing all over your vocal folds, the acid from your stomach. So for me, I kind of ruled it out over time. I was like, it's just not acid reflux. I just know that it's not, because, you know, I've done it all and nothing's changed. So if you keep getting the wrong diagnosis, do your research, come prepared with what you want to say, write it down, and say, I think I have muscle tension dysphonia, and here's why, and here's this, that, and this. And, you know, I had to go to 3 ENTs before I was diagnosed correctly. And at the end, I was like, what's the best hospital in my area in the country? Thank God I'm like right next to it. Mass General Hospital is the best. They know all about muscle tension dysphonia. And, you know, I actually changed my insurance so I could go see them. And, you know, I told them, I think I have muscle tension dysphonia. I think that's what I had said at the time. I can't even remember now. Or maybe I didn't even say it. It's been a while. And they were like, you have muscle tension dysphonia. But they said it right away. So I guess to wrap that all in a pretty bow, number 1, go to the ear, nose, and throat doctor. Get the diagnosis. Follow procedure. Or like follow what they tell you to do. You know, if they say acid reflux, change your diet or do this or that and see if that helps. And if it doesn't, you know, keep being a detective and keep fighting for your own health, because as you know, nobody's going to do that for you, especially with muscle tension dysphonia. But you will find the correct diagnosis if that is what you have, eventually. All right, so that's number 1. So number 2, get into speech therapy, for sure. Speech therapy was a game changer. Speech therapy is in place to help your body like learn how to talk more efficiently, like correct technique, right? So there is a right way to speak and a wrong way to speak. And a lot of us muscle tension dysphonia peeps do not speak correctly. I used to speak like this, very throaty, very soft. I was very, very shy. I'm still very shy. And I can revert back to this behavior. It's kind of an emotional thing, right? Which is crazy. It's kind of scary to project the voice like this at first. So what speech therapy does is it just takes, it knows, you know, the therapist will give you the correct, exercises to do to start to correct the voice. And you just practice every day that you can. Practice patience and persistence. It's just like any musical instrument, like piano, guitar, drums, just practicing and being patient and persistent, and slowly but surely the voice will start to correct itself on a physical, sort of mechanical level, right? And I guess there's also that emotional component too. So yeah, speech therapy. And the thing is, my first speech therapist did not help me at all. The appointments were like very sporadic. I felt confused a lot. I felt like nothing was helping. I felt like she didn't really have time for me. And there wasn't like a clear game plan. I didn't like how disorganized it was and kind of thrown together. And so, you know, I went through that speech therapy and I was like, there's got to be like a better speech therapist out there. Like this has to work, you know, theoretically. Speech therapy should work for the patient. So then, of course, you know, finally, after years and years, I went to Mass General Hospital, you know, because I knew that they had some of the best speech therapists for muscle tension dysphonia in the country, if not the world. So I got hooked up with a speech therapist there that specialized in singing, because I'm a singer. And right away, there was a click there. Like, every week, they're like, you have to come in every Thursday or whatever for, you know, until you see results. Every Thursday. They said that's important, which I liked that right away. And then they like did all these like little tests and things on me and wrote down all the levels. I don't know really what it was, but I liked how like, you know, how hard they're working to figure out what was wrong with me. And then, you know, it was just like gradual steps. The straw, they introduced the straw to me, which you can see on my channel. I have straw videos. The straw blew my mind. Like, as soon as I used the straw and then I spoke, I was like, oh my gosh, I can talk without pain. So for me, the straw really changed everything, and I could see clearly that speech therapy, it was helping me. And maybe the straw won't help you. Maybe it'll be like lip trills, or like a different kind of exercise, or bubbles, blowing bubbles in water with a straw. Again, all of these are, I'll link the video down below. I have like a ton of like little things that you could try, because the key is it's not a one size fits all, right? It's everybody's different. Everyone's going to respond differently to these exercises. And I'm a vocal coach, so I've been like doing vocal exercises for a long time. So maybe for me, like the straw, it just clicked with me because I've already been vocalizing, and it just made sense to me. And I was able to brighten out my voice through the straw and use it as a tool to correct my voice and kind of teach my voice and myself, like, you know, what it should feel like and sound like. So it was a nice kind of aid for me. So I think that's a good sign. Like if you feel like you're getting slowly better, you know, in speech therapy, that's a sign that, you know, things are working, because they should work eventually, right? Yeah. So that was number 2, finding a great speech therapist. And she worked with me for like 3 months. And while I was in speech therapy, okay, number 3, vocal lessons. This is a huge one, huge one. Most of us singers, you know, if you're a singer, of course, this only applies if you sing or do theater or something like that. Sure, you can get, like, if you're an actor, there's got to be someone, like, about, like, warming up the voice in that sense, too. But I'm a singer, so I only know about singing. Weekly vocal lessons for the rest of my life. No excuses from me, because I am a professional voice user. I use my voice for a living, so it's super important for me to be working with a coach every week, her listening to my voice, you know, correcting it, making those micro adjustments, and I'm learning and growing and figuring out how to use my voice in the most efficient way that, and, you know, ways to use my voice that are not taxing, ways to use my voice using my whole body, like mixing the voice. I think for a lot of us muscle tension dysphonia people, we don't have a good understanding of mixing the voice. So we, I'm going off on a tangent here. All right, so what I'm trying to say is weekly vocal lessons. And this vocal coach should be helping you. You should feel like they understand you and your condition, and they, you know, you should feel like you're growing and your voice is evolving and changing for the better with this vocal coach. So for me, I'll just have vocal lessons for the rest of my life, because that's very important to me. And even if you are a well-trained singer, if you've all of a sudden developed muscle tension dysphonia, you have developed most likely a poor habit in movement or in vocalizing. So you need a coach to help correct that. So you can hear that in Mariah Carey. She, like, her mother was an opera singer, I believe, and she was vocally trained her whole life. But then she developed nodes on her voice, but she never went back to get the correct retraining, and so her voice just kind of declined from there. So no matter where you are, if you've never had a vocal lesson, if you've had a billion, I would say definitely work with a vocal coach. Make sure they understand the dysphonia. My vocal coach is just from the conservatory in Boston. She has a degree there. And she's just she's an opera singer, but she knows how to teach contemporary singing, which is what I do. So she understands my voice. She knows how to teach me. She understands how to reduce and release tension for me. And I've been seeing her for years and years now. Cool. Oof. Number 4. Check out, like, ways to improve posture. My posture's probably awful right now. It feels so good to do this. All right, so good posture. You can go different routes with this, different avenues to figure out good posture and to practice holding your body better. You can even build muscle to hold your neck, your back. You can build your core, all that stuff. So for me, I chose chiropractic work alongside physical therapy to break the tension loop. So I had just this loop of tension And my chiro explained to me that, you know, you feel pain, and so your mind sends out a signal to your body to tighten, to protect you from whatever is causing you pain. And then it just goes and goes tighter and tighter and tighter. So in the beginning, I think I was going to the chiro 3 times a week, and they had me doing all the physical therapy. So they would, I don't know the correct terms for it, but if you just Google, it'll come up. They put the electricity on, so kind of like breaking up sort of the knots in here. And then I would go and get the ultrasound, so again with, I don't know, breaking up the knots. And then I would stretch. They gave me specific stretches to do. And then the chiropractor would crack my neck on both sides, you know, crack my back, whatever I needed to get movement in those joints, to get things moving again, and to loosen that tension loop and pain cycle until it was gone. And I wasn't eating 20 cough drops a day anymore, which I was doing. So that helped me. So chiropractic work, good posture. He showed me like exercises to do, which I still haven't done. But you know, that's on what I'm going to be working on in the future. Yeah, so chiropractic work, working on posture through physical therapy, or you could go a different route, or you could try a bunch of things. Like I tried the Alexander technique. You can Google that. It's for, it's kind of like relearning how to move, you know, like movement, how to relearn how to move your body and hold your body in a relaxed way without tension. Because as we get older, you might notice people start to curve and they get tighter and tighter and go into themselves more and more and more. And the Alexander technique teaches you how to hold your body up energetically with the most minimal tension. So I believe it's more about using your bones than the muscles to hold yourself up. And then again, how to move and sing with the most minimal amount of tension that, you know, for that. Okay. And I'm sure there's other styles. So I know about the Alexander technique, but I'm sure there's other styles of like how to move your body in the most effortless, efficient way. Whether you be like a singer, an actor, or whatever, you know, someone sitting on their computer, a teacher, you know, life involves movement. And typically a human being is doing one kind of movement the most per day, you know, like whether that be typing, playing guitar, singing. So you got to make sure that movement is right. If that makes sense. I hope so. Yeah, so there's that. So that was number 4. Chiropractic work, physical therapy, Alexander technique. Number 5, this one is a mixture of 2 things. Number 5 is posture and movement, also your mental health. Yoga. Yoga, life-changing. So I love yoga because it teaches you to be like kind of relaxed while you're doing something intense, right? So like when you're singing or you're using your voice for a living, it's intense. And yoga really teaches you how to hold your body and actually also, of course, have good posture while in movement, and which muscles to fire off and use and which ones to practice relaxing, which is very important with people with a lot of tension issue. And it incorporates deep, mindful breathing. So when we're breathing deeply and mindfully into our bellies, into our rib cages, we are no longer breathing shallow and lightly in our necks and our faces and like our upper collarbone area, which can really increase tension. So yoga is great in that sense for releasing tension in movement. And also, when you breathe deeply and you're present, it really helps with mental health. And I'm a firm believer, I just know this to be true, that muscle tension dysphonia is a mind and body condition. So yoga can help with the mind. I have a lot of depression issues in my life, a lot of terrible anxiety. Like lately it's feeling debilitating depending on when you talk to me. And yoga just really, it's just life-saving, you know, just bringing you into the present moment so you aren't thinking about the future, that's anxiety. You're not thinking about the past, which is depression. It puts you into the present moment well, all you really have to focus on is the breath and movement. And of course, you know, it's scientifically proven that exercise helps mental health. So that's why I do yoga, for like lots of things. So where are we? Number 6, mental health. So that was kind of the segue into it. I have been a hot mess most of my life. I was very shy, still am, introverted person who decided that was wrong and bad, and just decided from a young age that I was this ugly, fat piece of shit person. So yeah, the journey into the depths of darkness started with me when I was about like 13, 12, 10, something like that. And then I developed eating disorder, and then I developed drug addiction, and then I developed self-harm, and it was just like this really bad downward spiral of doom. And, you know, of course, I went to a lot of rehabs, and I've gotten to a place where I no longer, thank God, deal, you know, with that terrible darkness. That's probably why I'm so positive now. And I've gotten there through a ton of therapy, a ton of self-reflection, being like the willingness to take a deep look at myself and my behavior patterns and figure those out and untangle them. And I could go on and on and on about mental health. But if you have muscle tension dysphonia, I would take a good look at your mental health. Are you feeling anxious? Are you depressed? Do you tend to put yourself down? Do you have a hard time saying no? Are you a people pleaser? Do you have a hard time putting up boundaries and then also saying no? So you're going through the whole week saying, I have to do this, I have to do that, or they'll be mad at me, or this or that. And then you feel like you want to please people so bad, you can no longer please yourself. And you're like in this terrible state of mind, I guess. So there's that. So if you're looking on ways to help with that right now for free, go to tmswiki.org. I'll link that below too. TMS, I forget what it stands for, but it's like this idea that your pain is kind of made up, which take that or leave that. Sometimes I don't believe my pain is made up, but I do believe that you know, when I get these burning muscular pains in my body, I believe they're learned neurological pathways of behavior from my mind. So when I'm stressed, my body knows to tense up because it's always done that. So it's like, Liz is stressed. Put the burning sensations here and there, because we have always done that when we're stressed, right? And I start breathing shallow, and of course that aids to muscle tension. So for me, TMS Wiki resonates. So I would just go there and look at it so you know what I'm talking about. But if you're like, my pain's real, which I'm not trying to mock anyone at all. It could, of course, my pain started off very real, and it still is real. Before I go off on another tangent, just go to that website and do their free pain program at the top of the page. Even if you, like, it doesn't matter if you believe your pain is real or not real. But I would say follow the advice through that pain program, because it will free you from the emotional, mental turmoil on how to deal with pain every single day, like chronic pain. It will help you have the tools to deal with it mentally. And it really helped me. It helped me say no. It helped me cut people out of my life that were toxic. It helped me with boundaries. It helped me with like having pain and being okay with that pain, you know? Like the pain comes into my voice, and I'm okay with it. I don't have to be afraid of the pain anymore, which has been awesome, you know? Like the other day I had a show, and you know, the old thoughts come in. I'm like, oh my God, my voice is I'm not gonna be able to get through the set. And I have like these untrue thoughts, or maybe you think they're true, but you know, now I know. I'm like, this pain won't hurt me. I don't have to be afraid. I know what to do. I'm okay. Those kind of things. So tmswiki.org, it's a game changer, as I like to say. And then here's the final one. I can't believe this video is so long. Step number 7, which is meditation. And like deep breathing meditation. I think any meditation is good, whatever you like. Meditation is still something that I'm working on. So it's this idea of being mindful and practicing deep mindful breathing. Because a lot of us with muscle tension dysphonia are so stressed, we're in so much pain, we're so anxious, we're so depressed, that meditation is just the perfect medicine. It will bring you to the present moment. It will release the tension in those tight muscles. It will bring more body awareness. Like, you'll be more aware of where you hold tension, and you'll also become really good at releasing it through deep breathing meditations. So I would say, like, try the deep breathing ones. I know Wim Hof has deep breathing meditations that are pretty aggressive, so maybe I would stay away from that for a while, because his are like, and I'm like, my muscles hurt. I would do like a nice calm, how about I'll link my favorite one below. And I really think meditation is one of, the steps that will really free you from muscle tension dysphonia, and that's what I really want to do now. Because like I said, I feel like I've basically recovered from the dysphonia, but it's still in my life with stress. And anxiety has been like a huge thing in my life, and especially with Corona coming up and just getting older, I just feel like I'm getting more and more anxious. So my goals for this year, or at least right now, my goals are to meditate, do at least one deep breathing meditation a day, which it's pretty tough. So I would say like try like 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, make it sustainable for you. And then you can even explore further into mental health. Like for me, if I'm off, like this is a great thing, limit your social media time and your phone time. I'm going to leave you guys with just like the things I'm working on now, and then we're going to finish this video. So I finished my steps. So I'm limiting my screen time. So I notice if I wake up in the morning, the cell phone's out of the room. I do not wake up in the morning. Well, I do. I'm trying to not wake up in the morning and go right on my cell phone. That is not good for your brain, because your brain needs to ease into the day. It can't all of a sudden just wake up and be like, oh, I have like this and that and this and that and do, and then Sally wants to do this and that, and then your brain is like, and then like it's too late. You're already like stressed the fuck out, and there's no way to get away from that. So what I recommend doing is put boundaries on your cell phone, like I'm trying to do, to try to combat and heal from my chronic anxiety, which I know I can heal from. Don't let doctors say you can't heal from anxiety, because you can. So I would say get the cell phone out of the freaking room. When you wake up in the morning, get out of bed, maybe put on some nice music or nothing at all. Enjoy the silence. And I started my day without any cell phone, and I went and did a yoga class, and I didn't look at my phone until 11 a.m. in the morning. And I just felt so much calmer, And then tonight, I think it's like 6 o'clock here, I am, after 9 p.m., no more social media. Put the phone down, read a book, draw something, play guitar, play piano, do something creative, take a shower, go for a walk, bike ride, do something off the phone, and don't pick the phone up again until the next day at the allotted time, like 11 a.m., like after you've had some warm-up time in the day. And I hope that makes sense. So like really limiting the screen time, because that can be super triggering and can create a lot of depression and anxiety in people's lives. And I think it's becoming a real big problem. And I'm actually releasing, I didn't mean to make this like a segue into selling myself, but I'm releasing a new single in like 5 weeks called Why High. That's about social media addiction. So you should follow me on Spotify so you can hear that song. But yes, I think that's about it. I didn't know this video was going to be so long. But yeah, I just felt like the need to tell all you beautiful people out there with muscle tension dysphonia that always email me and they're like, what did you do to get better? This is what I did. And it's not a one size fits all. I'm just really being a detective, and my ideas change all the time. Like I'm just constantly trying to learn new information. And then I'm like looking at myself, evaluating my mental health and what I'm doing like physically and mentally, and then just adjusting that. I'm getting back into talk therapy now because I need it. I might not always. But yeah, that's about it. So let me know your thoughts. I hope this really helps people, and just be a detective and like a ninja and see what works for you. Like, yoga works for me, maybe taekwondo works for you, you know, that kind of thinking. Like, be loose, like, play around with things, see what you come up with. And I wish you happy healing and lots of patience and lots of self-love and self-acceptance, and I love you, and that's it. And my voice doesn't hurt after all that talking for 30 minutes. Mwah!